Hey astronauts, this is Brandy and welcome back to Astro-Tarot Research. We have another exciting reading for you guys today. That's right, it's about you and your future mother-in-law. That's what she'll think of you, how she'll treat you, and all that jazz. But before we get started, I just want to remind you that information for private readings is in the description bar below and readings start at $15. But don't forget, prices will go up at the end of the year. Also, I do want to remind you that you can follow me on Instagram if you want to get a weekly reading. I'm doing weekly pick a card readings to get the vibrations for the week. So if you're interested in that kind of content, that will be exclusive to my Instagram and you got to go follow me on there. I also post astrology content. So if you want to learn more about your birth chart or the planets or etc., then I'm your girl to go to. So follow me on Instagram. That is Astro_Tarot Research. And let's get started on this reading. We have 6 piles for you guys today. That is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, pile number 5, and pile number 6. I love how you guys can see my little nail here. It broke off and I tried to recuperate and this one fell off too, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We'll get it all together. We can get this reading done. But I just wanted to warn you about like the content of my nails real quick. But let's get started and sit back, relax, and choose, and let's go. If you've chosen pile number 1, let's just get started on your reading. This is what your mother-in-law will be like. We have the 2 of Pentacles. Just flip that around for you guys. So when we have the 2 of Pentacles, we have someone who has like 2 sort of ways of expressing themselves. It could be just like they're very changeable. Sometimes when I get the 2 of Pentacles to represent someone, at least physically, it represents someone who changes their look a lot. Like it could be their hair, it could be their nails, it could be, you know, their style. They just kind of switch things up. So this person could have like 2 different aspects of their personality, or it could just be like how I said before with their appearance. They tend to like switch things up, change things a bit. Go with the flow. They're just like having fun. They're very playful when it comes to how they carry themselves, how they dress themselves, how they may do their hair, their makeup. Like you may not be able to guess what's going to be happening one day to the next when it comes to either their behavior or sort of like how they express their physical appearance. Okay, so your mother-in-law also is very playful and very fun and very easygoing. Just a very relaxed sort of energy. Okay, so this is what she'll think of you. We have the King of Pentacles and we have the 2 of Swords. So something about this tells me that your mother-in-law will at least at first sort of think that you have a good amount of money. Like the way you present yourself will be kind of in a way where your mother-in-law will think, okay, this person is got a good job, they're very successful, but they don't show it, or you like come off very like at first they'll think that you, it's like they think how you look and like sort of like maybe your lifestyle doesn't add up. In a sense, it could be that you may have a good amount of success, money, savings, whatever, but you choose to live humbly, be a little bit more cheap, be a bit more frugal. Or it could just be like they feel like you're spending outside of your means, because sometimes we have that energy when we have the King of Pentacles next to the 2 of Swords. Also with the 2 of Swords here, it kind of goes back into her nature. So how she perceives you really depends on her, okay? The fact that we have another 2 representing how this person sees you, and this is another card that has to do with decisions, and this one's about weighing options. It's kind of like day to day, they just have such a changeable mood and personality that depending on the day is going to depend on how they choose to see you. But overall, you have a more reliable nature. They may feel like though, at least in her mind, she's feeling like you guys should be more generous, but it can also sort of just mean like you give too much. So it's just, I got to clarify that meaning, and that's why I pulled these cards here. Ace of Swords. Okay, so they feel like you're mainly focused on creating independence for yourself. Like, you're not here to sort of baby anyone, which is not a bad thing. I mean, if you, it's your money, it's your time, it's your effort, whatever, right? But at the same time, they think that you also can come off very, like, practical, like, in the sense that it may seem, I don't want to be insulting to anyone, but in their mind, they feel like you could be very serious, basically. Like, you're so practical that it can be, it's just not her vibe, okay? Like, she would think that, okay, well, like, she might be the more type that be a little bit more irresponsible. So if you're like, she might be like, oh, let loose, you know, it's okay to, you know, spend all this money on all these gifts and things. And you're like, I don't think so. Like, I actually have to, you know, pay rent, pay a car note, pay this and that. And your mother-in-law is like, what? Just throw caution to the wind. Like, whatever happens, happens. Like, she's a little bit more free-flowing. So she's going to see you as a little bit more, like, rigid and, like, hard to, you know, change. Okay? Like, really, like, they're just going to see you as being, like, very stubborn. But when we have the Two of Pentacles here, it's not, like, any sort of, like, negative thoughts and feelings, but we can clarify that. I really don't think she thinks bad of you. We have the Knight of Wands. So, no, she finds you to be, I don't know, like, very... How do you explain Knight of Wands energy? Someone who can... I wouldn't say be high energy. I mean, in this case, this is her feelings for you. And her feelings for you are like, she's excited to see you. She's excited to have you around. But she just kind of feels like when it comes to you sort of cooperating or making a compromise or being like letting loose or something and taking more risks, she's gonna see you as being like very rigid on that. Okay, she's gonna see it as you not wanting to do that. Like you're just gonna be hard to get out of your box. Okay, I hope that's clear. But let's pull one more card to sort of bring it all together and see what this relationship is really trying to say. Like, what kind of relationship will you guys have? Just giving her character. I'm believing that this is very, very interesting. We have the Nine of Wands representing what kind of relationship you guys have. So you guys obviously aren't very close. And I think it's just, you just have a difference in personalities. She's a little bit more, you know, free-flowing, a little bit more reckless, especially with finances, where you're a little bit more, you like to keep a more tight budget. Like, you're very more calculated. Like, even if you aren't that way now, by the time you meet your mother-in-law, you're gonna have like all your books in order, all your money like just in a line, checkbook balance, like by the time you meet this woman. So your relationship, we have the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is kind of like grit and bear it. Okay, like it's just that card that's like, man, I just got to get through this. So you guys will just kind of have different ways of living, different points of view. It's not that you guys will be like hostile. Like I said, her feelings for you is like, she is excited when you come around. Sometimes, you know, you may irritate her or whatever, but it's like, whatever, that's family. Okay. But for the most part, she is happy to have you here. But I think you guys are just not going to be super close, which is fine. I mean, you're marrying her, you know, son or daughter. So it's not her. With the Nine of Wands here, it does also indicate like both of you guys kind of being a little bit guarded with each other and not really letting your guard down, which kind of goes into like this King of Pentacles energy with the Two of Swords. Like I said, with the Two of Swords, it's like she doesn't really kind of know you that well, especially when we have like the Two of Swords saying things are just like hidden, or she's like refusing to acknowledge certain parts of your personality, which might be more of the accurate interpretation of this, because when we have the King of Pentacles, like I've said before, it's like my way of reading almost reversals in a way with this King of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. So it's like saying someone has the truth like laid right out in front of them, but they refuse to acknowledge it. So from her perspective, it's like she's refusing to see the logic in the decisions that you make, even though the decisions that you make are very practical and very smart. And she's gonna say, no, this person's just kind of choosing to be stubborn. Like, she's just kind of like in her own kind of world. She's a very interesting character, okay? Especially when we got two. So she definitely is very friendly and wants to be around people. And that's why she really likes having you around, even if you guys don't see eye to eye all the time. She's like, it's fine, it's whatever. Like, I just want people around. I want to be in people's company. I want to talk to people. She's just a very friendly, open person, okay? And that is all I have for you, pile number one. I hope this makes sense, and feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research, and don't forget to get a private reading. And I love that you guys watch my channel, so I hope that you guys will subscribe and become a part of the astronauts. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. If you've chosen pile number two, let's get started on your reading on you and your mother-in-law. So this is what she'll be like. Oh, another one who's like very fun and friendly. We have the Three of Cups. So I'm sorry about any brightness here, this lighting setup. My goodness. But we have the Three of Cups here. And the Three of Cups represents someone being very very fun, like a super socialite. Like, with pile number one, we had a very social mother-in-law as well. But this one's like next level in terms of like, being able to like go out, throw parties. She probably loves having dinner parties, loves going to brunch. Like, your mother-in-law is the type who hasn't slowed down. She has tons of friends, tons of family over. Like, she likes to keep her environment busy, and she likes to, you know, always be meeting new people, going out, like, whatever it is, maybe book club, whatever club or something she into. But you can best believe she has a strong group of friends, a strong network system. She's just a very she's a party mom. Okay, she, you know, she likes to have a good time. All right, so this is what she'll think of you. We have the Five of Swords and the Page of Swords. So in her mind, she'll sort of see you as someone who isn't as tactful as she would like you to be. In her mind, with the Five of Swords here, I've gotten the Five of Swords to mean many things. So the basic sort of interpretation that you can sort of get from the Five of Swords is someone who is in a lose-lose situation. Okay, so, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So something about you, she kind of feels like if she, you know, acts one way towards you, it's a loss. Or if she acts another way towards you, it's a loss. Like, from her perspective, it feels like any sort of tactic or interaction she tries to give with you, she feels like she may be either offending you, or she feels like she doesn't know quite what to say and things are awkward, and she's just really confused on how to approach you as her daughter-in-law or son-in-law, whoever, whatever gender you are. She just, you know, having a hard time connecting. And with the Page of Swords here, she definitely sees you as someone who is in a position to learn, someone who does want to reach out, someone who does want to communicate, as well as someone who is very bright and has a lot of potential to grow. Okay, she just sees you as someone who may be on their phone quite a bit, because the Page of Swords is very communicative. She sees you as someone who's always up on the latest fashion, someone who's very trendy, someone who knows about the latest sort of whatever memes, Twitter happenings. Like, she just kind of sees you very indulged in the culture. Like, she just kind of just thinks that you are very young, you know the latest artists, know the latest music. What I've noticed is a lot of people basically kind of lose touch with modern music around college. It's just it just has to do with like entering the real world and like having a life of your own. Like, when you're younger, you can focus a lot on, you know, celebrities and stuff, but as you get older, it just becomes less appealing because you have your own sort of life and problems and things to deal with. But she sees you as someone who is just up to date on all of that. Like, you know about when the award shows are on, and who's popular and all the celebrity gossip. She just thinks that you're very aware of all that, which can possibly be what the Five of Swords energy, because she could think you're very like a little bit gossipy, which is like the Page of Swords here. But oftentimes when we think sort of things about other people, it's because we have those qualities in ourselves, like if they're not the most positive things. And especially when she has the Three of Cups here, I wouldn't be surprised if she was kind of like a gossip herself, okay? So she sees you as someone who basically has a lot of potential to grow, but at the same time, either she thinks you are being taken advantage of, or you may take advantage of other people. Or it could just be the interpretation I gave earlier, but let's clarify. It's a little bit of both, where she kind of feels like sometimes you wouldn't be, I don't know what's the word to phrase it. Maybe appreciative is not the right word, but maybe sometimes she thinks that you aren't considerate of maybe other people's feelings, which would make sense because we have all these sword energy, and sword energies kind of just want to tell the truth. They want to be upfront. They want to be blunt. They don't want to think about how this person feels knowing that, their boyfriend's cheating on them. They just want to tell them, hey, I saw your boyfriend cheating on you. They just kind of want to just be there and say what's out there and give the information and not have to worry about whose feelings and what, and when to say it, how to say it. They're not super analytical. They are analytical, but they're not ultimately like super analytical, time and place, date, etc. like that. They're Knight and Pages of Swords, like they're still growing, they're still learning. Also, she's just gonna think they're just very young, just very young, and that you just have a lot to learn in her eyes, okay? But like I said, she thinks that you may have learned those behaviors from other people, because the Four of Swords, not Four of Swords, the Five of Swords can be like someone who's coming from an environment where they can't trust easily. So she may think that you're coming from an environment where you can't trust easily, where you've been betrayed and you've been hurt, and so you've kind of learned to act that way based off of your environment. Or it's basically just saying how she would like to be spoken to. She doesn't think that you are speaking to her in that manner. Everyone has their sort of thing of how they would like someone to speak to them. Some people like very sort of passive, soft sort of speech. Some people like being very direct. Some people like a lot of humor. Some people like a lot of dry sarcasm. However it is that she likes to be spoken to, she thinks that you aren't quite there yet. Like you aren't communicating with her in a way that she would understand or like. And the same way goes for her, where she feels like she can't communicate properly with you. So for the most part, she's going to keep the topics very light, okay? And then we have the King of Pentacles representing your relationship with her overall. So overall, your relationship is very good. She's going to be very generous towards you, and she's going to provide you with a lot of help. She's going to be a person who, if you need something, she's going to be there for you. If you want some help, watching kids or watching, I don't know, TV, maybe you want company. She's going to be there for you. Any sort of need that you have, like if you feel like you need some gas money, if you feel like you don't know what to get your wife or husband, she's going to give you some tips. Like she's just there to sort of take care of you, and she's going to treat you like her own son or daughter, okay? She's pretty much going to provide and cater to you. That's just going to be her overall nature. And you, in the same way, you're going to help her out whenever she needs help. Like if she falls sick, or if she needs to be, driven somewhere, or if she doesn't have time to get to some store, and you're like, well, I'm in the area, I can go get that for you. You're going to be there for her. So overall, your relationship is going to be very very friendly. Like you guys are gonna really be there for each other if you guys ever need anything, or if you're in if you need some help. But I'm not gonna say that this is like super we're besties, okay? But you're cordial. That's the word I'm looking for. You guys will be cordial with one another is what I'm getting. But that is all I'm getting for you, pal number 2. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. And I want to thank you, astronauts, for supporting me and being so wonderful. And if you're not an astronaut, well then subscribe and become one, because I want you guys a part of this YouTube fam. So thank you, and I will see you next reading. If you've chosen pile number 3, let's get started on your reading. So we have the 4 of Wands to represent your mother-in-law's personality. We have a lot of like very friendly and celebratory and easygoing mother-in-laws, okay? With the 4 of Wands representing someone's personality, it represents someone who likes to celebrate. Oh my God, that's the same thing as like the last pile. What is going on, guys? We're getting some really like nice and friendly mother-in-laws, which is wonderful. I love that. But yeah, this is a person who is all about family. They're very energetic. They're someone who will take you in and say, come on home, like you're part of the family, we're having a ball. Like they're the type of person who will want to host like Thanksgiving parties, Christmas parties, and all that stuff at their home, okay? They're not playing around with that. They'll want a big wedding. They'll want to be a part of the wedding. They want to meet you. They want to hug you, want to kiss your face. Like they're just like this 4 of Wands energy. Like family is everything to them. It means a lot, okay? And they really cater to their own home. So they could be really into sort of decorating the home and making sure that everything looks, you know, really nice and pretty and has like a cute bow on top of it, tying it up. All right, they're just that type of person who's into home decor, or they could be into like home renovations and stuff. But overall, you have a very like excitable person, just a very overall happy energy. That's what this person is. You have they're just a very happy person and a very positive person, okay? So what they'll think of you, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and we have, sorry guys for that interruption, it was kind of loud, and we have the 4 of Cups. So what they think of you is that you work a lot and you don't spend enough time with them. So she has a very like, she doesn't really quite know what to think, because with the Ace of Pentacles here, she knows that you exist is what I was going to say, but obviously she knows you exist. She knows that you are around and that you are married to her son and you guys have your own life, but she would really like if you came around some more. She kind of feels like you guys aren't spending time with her. I don't know how to emphasize that enough, like especially with 4 here. We got 2 4s coming through, and 4s represent stability, foundation, and a need for being like very meticulous and detail oriented. But I don't think that's relevant to this, and especially, well, I mean, it's relevant to your personality. She may think you're very like meticulous and detail oriented, but overall, she just kind of feels like you don't spend enough time at home, especially with her. She feels like she's offering you some time to come visit her, and like when she's gonna see the grandchildren and when she's gonna see you guys, and you know, and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, I can't, I'm busy, I have other obligations, I have things to do, I got this over here, and these are things I gotta take care of, okay? And it's just going to, I'm not going to say it makes her sad, but she's going to be like, oh, you know, she's going to be sighing. She's going to be like, oh, why does this have to be this way? You know, I just want to spend time with you. So, but she overall thinks very positive of you. She thinks you're very humble. She thinks you have a good head on your shoulders. She thinks you're down to earth. She thinks you're someone who doesn't just take any sort of opportunity. Like you're not one to settle for second best. You're out here to look for things that make you happy. So like even if you were just in the store and you were in the aisle and on your way out the store you saw some gum and you're like, ooh, I wonder if they have like what's a Big Red? And you're like looking around for Big Red and they don't have Big Red, so you're just like, I don't think I'm gonna get it. But she's like, get any gum? And she's like, well, you can just get some other gum. And you're like, nah, I only want Big Red. So she thinks you're very like precise, like, you know what I mean? Like if you want something, you're gonna get that, and if they don't have what you want, you're just gonna be like, well, I'm gonna keep moving, I don't really care about these other options over here. You know what I mean? She thinks you have that kind of personality. But overall, I really get the feeling that she likes you a lot, especially when we have the Ace of Pentacles here. She kind of feels like this relationship has potential to grow. And she kind of feels like that you guys just need to interact with each other more, okay? So let's pull some more cards of what this relationship will be like. We have the Chariot. So when we have the Chariot to sort of indicate the relationship between you two, like I said, it's going to be a little bit slow moving at first, like I said with this Four of Cups here, where she feels like she's not spending enough time with you. Okay, and so with the Chariot, what I've noticed is when it comes together, it's like, yeah, you get what you want, but it does come with a bit of work. So she kind of feels like I said before, everything has potential to grow. Like, you guys will end up being connected, and you know, the relationship will be very successful and very, like, you guys will ultimately end up being close, but it's going to take some time and it's going to take some effort on both of you guys' parts, because there is going to be some differences in your personalities, where she's going to be a little bit more excitable and, you know, upbeat and like, let's do this and let's do that, and you're going to be a little bit more calm, a little bit more steady, a little bit more reliable, wanting to think things through. You don't want to just jump into something and make moves. You want to like plan and go a few steps ahead, at least in her mind, and she's just like, no need to plan, let's just do it, you know. So you both will want to have a good relationship, and ultimately it's going to end up that way. But like I said, it's going to take some time, and I haven't done this for the other groups, but like I pulled some extra cards. I don't know what it was about the vibrations of this card, but I did pull those cards. Okay, so how she'll generally feel about you dating her, you know, her son or daughter. We have the Three of Wands and we have the Nine of Cups. So let's pull this down here a little bit. So we have the Three of Wands and we have the Nine of Cups. She thinks that this does have potential to go someplace, but she wonders a little bit if you guys feed into each other's like bad habits, like if you guys kind of like encourage it. Maybe you guys have like a similar habit where you both like to, I don't know, smoke or something like that. And she's like, oh, they're both smokers. I don't know if I want them to both be smokers. I want someone to not be a smoker so it can like stop someone from smoking. Not to say that you guys smoke or something like that, but she kind of thinks that you guys may perpetuate each other's bad habits. It could be like anything, any habit that you may be bad. Maybe you're both nail biters. It could be something like that. And she's like, oh, I kind of wish that one of them wasn't a nail biter to encourage the other not to be a nail biter or something like that. But overall, she thinks this has a good potential for success. With the Three of Wands there, she feels like it's going to take a little bit longer than she would like for her own purposes to have like grandchildren. She's like, oh man, I really gotta wait for this. I just know that for a fact. Like, this person really wants grandchildren, but she feels like it's gonna be a long wait. But she does think that you guys will last in the long run. She just thinks that this things will take some time, and honestly, you're pretty much everything she's ever wanted in a son or daughter-in-law. She just thinks that you don't, like I said, you don't settle for anything for more than what you want. So she knows you really value her son or daughter. She thinks that you will put the relationship first and will put family first, but you will also take time to make yourself happy and cater to yourself. And she thinks that you know how to have a good time and relax, so she thinks that it'll be easy to sort of get along with you, or something about you just feels like you're already part of the family for her. Okay, that is all I have for you, pile number 3. So feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Astro_Tarot Research. And thank you for watching the video, my lovely astronauts. And if you're not an astronaut, then subscribe and become part of the fam, and you'll get these amazing readings. But yeah, you guys got a good reading. Amazing. Your mother-in-law loves you. All right, so I'll see you guys next time, and au revoir. Okay, if you've chosen pile number 4, then let's get started on your reading with you and your future mother-in-law. Sorry about the lighting change. I'm just trying to work things out and my camera, but whatever. Let's get started. This is your future mother-in-law's personality. We have the 8 of Cups. So we have someone who doesn't have a real issue with leaving things behind that no longer serve her. She's the type of person who lets bygones be bygones and doesn't really like to hold on to grudges or keep any sort of anger or resentment within her. She's the type of person who likes to keep things moving, you know what I mean? Like, she's not someone who's very hung up on the past. Something about the Eight of Cups is a very more somber personality, which is so funny because like the first half, we got all these upbeat, like fun, excitable, you know, playful energy. But with this pile, it's less playful and a more serious nature. Especially with the After Tarot deck, like you can literally see, I don't even know if this is gonna focus. Alright guys, so it's not gonna focus, but basically on this card you have blood here, and you see how there's blood spilt? So, and you know when things are like there's blood spilt, there's things that have been done that cannot be, you know, forgiven, or like something that's been done that's very hard to forgive, I would say. This person, your mother-in-law, is able to forgive. She's a very forgiving nature about her, but also at the same time, she has been hurt a lot and she's experienced a lot of disappointment, and she kind of carries that energy with her. Like you can sort of tell by her energy that she's been through a lot and she's experienced a lot of hurt and pain throughout her life. So there's that to look forward to. That's not a bad thing. I would just say it's a very like emotionally aware energy, okay? That's not a bad energy to have for a mother-in-law, actually. So what she'll think of you, we have the Six of Wands, that's good. And the Page of Pentacles, oh, she thinks you're so young and cute. She thinks you're very confident, beautiful, wonderful, handsome, whatever gender you are, young man or woman. She thinks you're someone who has a decent job, but the job could probably pay more. And she thinks that you're very friendly and helpful, because you can see on this card you have the Page of Pentacles giving it to this sort of elf gnome-like character. So she thinks that you're very sweet and kind and always giving to people. And especially in this thing, we have someone sort of giving something to you with the Six of Wands on the After Tarot deck. You have a girl, I'm just trying to make sure. Oh no, actually they're both, it's the other way around. He's giving her a sort of what do you call it, the thing that represents like the victory crown. I can't remember what it's called, but he's giving her one of those sort of flowery leaf crowns. And so there's something about your nature that's very giving and very generous, which she's going to notice right away, and she's going to very much like that. I can already tell by this energy. Not only that, but what's that song by Lizzo where it's like, if I'm shining, everybody gotta shine? Oh my God, I can't. Juice. Like, that's your energy. She's like, okay, this person has that juice. This person has that fire. Like, they bring everyone up with them. They don't push anyone down. If you're in a good mood, everybody's in a good mood. If you're celebrating something, everybody's celebrating. They just kind of see you as just like this ray of sunshine who's there to make things better. They also see you as someone who's very accomplished for their age, and someone who, you know, overall you may work a little bit more than she would like, but she thinks that you're very dedicated towards it, and it's a good thing that you have some sort of purpose and focus and goal within your life. We also, let's see, it's not we also, we also, sorry for all the interruptions, I felt like dizzy, but we also see here that we have, with the Page of Pentacles, someone who takes their time, because Pentacles are very slow moving, which kind of would explain like all the interruptions. It's kind of like saying that you have to move at your own pace. Like, you can't just speed through something, and you can't be rushed through a situation that it just feels like it'll just feel wrong to you. You feel like you can accomplish so much more when you take your time doing things, is all I'm getting from this. So she's not going to expect you, if, you know, she said, oh, could you please, you know, run to the grocery store and get me some fruits or bananas or something. You know, she would expect you to be gone for like an hour, okay? Hey, I don't know what's going on. So I think with all these interruptions, I think it means that you're a very busy person, which I don't even know why I didn't mention that before, because whenever I get the Page of Pentacles, it represents me having to run a lot of errands, or somebody else having to run a lot of errands, or, you know, someone I'm reading for. It's like they usually have to just go all over the place and do this thing and that thing. So I'm starting to, you know, click for me, get the full pictures. Probably because I was a little bit dizzy before, but yeah, you're just going to get a lot of things done. Okay, so she's gonna see you as, you know, dropping off envelopes. She's gonna see you, you know, going to the mall, picking up things. She's gonna see you, you know, maybe renovating your house, putting up curtains or something like that, or, you know, vacuuming. She just sees that you are somebody who's busy all the time. And not only that, but you're also taking care of others, which is a quality she is going to like. So here's what the relationship will be like. We have Judgment, and we have the Two of Wands here. So with Judgment and the Two of Wands, we have a relationship that's very much what I expected. With the Judgment as representing of a relationship, it's kind of like saying that no matter what you do, you'll be forgiven, which is interesting because with the Eight of Cups energy, I was just saying how she's like a very forgiving person in general. So it's going to be very hard to sort of disappoint her. So she just kind of sees everything as everything. She just says, this is how things are supposed to be. But she's very, I don't know, something tells me she's very spiritual and like very connected, or spiritual or religious or something like that. But she has this sort of mindset with your relationship with her. It's just very refreshing. She kind of feels very at ease with you, and she feels like you guys have a very unique bond. It's like you guys have this connection, this spark, where you guys will sort of understand each other's way of doing things, way of approaching situations. Like, she's gonna see you as being quirky, and you're gonna see her as being a very kind of quirky too, but you're both gonna like it, and you're both going to just come together in a way that people are just like, are you actually real mother and daughter, or real mother and son? Like, you're just gonna really get along with your mother-in-law. When we have this Two of Wands energy, it represents of someone who is being a leader. So it's more like you will more than likely be the person who's initiating most things and initiating most contact, which makes sense because you have the Page of Pentacles representing you, initiating most of the contact, and also like the activities that you guys will, you know, do together. If you guys decide to do a spa day or hang out or something like that, she's going to see you as the one who's taking the lead on that. But she's going to like the choices that you make, and she's overall going to think you have a very wise perspective, and you kind of see things with like a bird's eye view, because that's how she sort of sees things. But yeah, whenever I get the Two of Wands here, it does sort of represent that the relationship, well, it's definitely going to go through some changes, some different periods, especially with the Judgment card here. But the Judgment also comes down to a 2 numerology wise, and this is also a 2. So something tells me that you guys, you're like very like much like kindred spirits. Okay, I don't know what it is, but you guys would just kind of get each other, and it's. And maybe you guys have similar hobbies, or maybe you guys have similar experiences, because sometimes when we have the Two of Wands, it can represent sort of like we do certain, like we approach things a certain way, we do things a certain way, like we watch the same TV shows, we have gone to the same countries, because I say countries because we have the Two of Wands here sort of looking at a globe. We have the same things that sort of get us excited. So something about, I think you guys will have very similar interests in that way. And so the bond is going to, I don't know, it's going to like wake her up. Like, she's going to feel like so animated and happy when you're around. And she's going to think that you're a really great choice for her son or daughter. And it's just, I think overall you're going to like take her out of any sort of funk or maybe loneliness that she had been experiencing. So I don't know why, but she's gonna really like you. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't know why, like, you guys are amazing, that's probably why, but overall you're gonna have a really great relationship with your mother-in-law. I don't know how else to expand upon that. Okay, like, just really connected. So that is all I have for you, pile number 4. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. And I want to thank you, astronauts, for supporting me and being a part of the fam. And if you're not a part of the fam, then subscribe and become a part of the fam. And that is all I have for you guys. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Let's get started on pile number 5 and see what's going on with you and your mother-in-law. So this is your mother-in-law's overall personality. She's the Knight of Pentacles. So you've got a very hardworking, on their grind mother-in-law. She doesn't waste any time or any moment. Every single day, every moment of her day is planned out to the T. She knows what she needs to get done, and she gets it done. She may be a little bit of a workaholic. She may be a little bit too busy to spend a lot of time with you guys, but overall, she's a person who is very much relatable, someone who you see as a busybody, someone who is very sound-minded. I wouldn't say she makes the best financial decisions, but she would be very careful about her finances to some degree. I think with the Knight of Pentacles, this is the type of person who doesn't really think about starting a business. This type of person who kind of chooses to work for someone else and make money for someone else that way. They just like working under someone else. Okay, so your mother-in-law is someone who doesn't really want to kind of be a boss or a leader. They prefer working under someone else and having someone take care of that and make the big decisions for them. Okay, but you have a very like a smart and very like focused mother-in-law, someone who is going to notice if you change your hair, your lipstick, your nails, or if you change your haircut, your beard, I don't know, guys don't really change too much, do they? Your shoes or something like that. She's going to point it out, she's going to notice it, and she's more than likely going to be like a bargain shopper and know where all the great deals and stuff like that is. That's your mother-in-law's like personality overall. She's just like this very frugal, maybe not makes a lot of money, but you can pretty much rely on her to get things done, but sometimes she overworks herself, so there could be an element of being tired, especially with the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles like never stops. I get this card sometimes when it means somebody is just, you know, almost gonna be to the point of being worn out a little bit because they haven't taken the time to take a break. Okay, so this is what she'll think of you. We have the 10 of Wands. And we have the Hermit. Oh my God, it's so funny. She thinks you're similar to her. She thinks you work too much. Oh my God, that's so funny. Maybe she's projecting a little bit, but who knows? But she thinks you work a lot and she never sees you, which is funny because she works a lot, and that could be the reason that you guys never meet. But it's maybe you guys both work a lot, okay? But whatever it is, she really thinks that you guys end up working a lot, and she doesn't really spend a lot of time with you. What she does know of you, she does know that you're very thoughtful person. She knows that you're probably like a dog person too, but she knows that you're someone who likes to contemplate the deeper meanings and deeper subjects of life. The Hermit card is associated with Virgo. And so it's funny how I was kind of mentioning the Knight of Pentacles and those Virgo qualities and noticing all the small details, which is a very Virgo energy. And also the workaholic energy is also very Virgo. So maybe she kind of sees a bit of herself in you, which is not really surprising because people tend to like marry their parents and, you know, marry those archetypes of their childhood. So she sees a little bit of herself in you in the same way that you guys are very much focused and super ambitious. So with the snake here representing like Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, so the snake is sort of known as like being this temptress of knowledge, being this this gateway to the truth and seeing things for how they really are. She's going to find you to be very perceptive, and she's going to find that nothing kind of gets past you either, which I think she will respect. But she also thinks that you are tired. You need a break, man. She's like, wow, do I look like that too? Like, are we both over here just tired and overworked and stuff? But overall, I get this energy that she sees you, who you may take on more than you can handle. Sometimes when people take on more than they can handle, they just kind of end up neglecting people, which is why I'm getting the Hermit card here, because you try to make time for things, but when you take on too much, you kind of end up realize that your time just runs out and your day is just gone, and you're like, oh my god, I forgot to meet Mitchell, or I forgot to talk to Lisa, or you know what I mean. Like, it's just like you end up neglecting people and spending more time to yourself, or more time with your work, or more time with colleagues, or something like that, just because you just don't have that room in your schedule. So she may see your schedule as like very jam-packed. But overall, how she feels about you, we have the Moon here. And let's clarify the Moon actually with the High Priestess. All right, not very clear at all. It's funny because the Moon here represents like this changeability and this waxing and waning of emotions, and the High Priestess is also kind of associated, well, definitely associated with the Moon card, and saying that she also kind of waxes and wanes in her emotions, and she also has this air of mystery. So her feelings towards you, she's kind of like, I don't know, indecisive. Like one day she feels like maybe really connected, really loving, like really like this deep spiritual connection, and the next day she's just not sure what she feels, or what to think, or like how to feel. I think it's because, you know, maybe it's possible that you guys, like, this is a marriage, so things happen over a course of years. So this cards could be just saying that over the course of years, like, her feelings about you will change to this, to that. You know, one day she's feeling like this overwhelming sense of love and care and devotion towards you. The other, you know, couple of months or some other time period where she's just like, well, I don't really spend enough time with them, so this person's like a mystery to me. I don't get anything like negative from this, really. I think it's just like parts of the relationship where she's gonna feel like she doesn't know you that well. She doesn't spend enough time with you to get all the updates, and things just aren't clear to her how she feels about you. Or it could be like, because sometimes people who are really close to their parents, they may complain to their parents about their spouse, and so your mother-in-law might be like, okay, well, when she's with me, she seems very nice, so well-mannered, very meek, but now my son or daughter-in-law are saying that, you know, she's demanding, and she's always, you know, argumentative, and you know what I mean, like, or we've gotten a fight and this person thinks this way, and da-da-da-da-da, and she's like, well, I don't really see that part of them, so I'm just like, so things are unclear. They may not just know what to think because they see one thing, but then they hear their son or daughter telling them another things, or they hear other people telling them other things, but they're a little bit confused. One thing is, they'll definitely have strong feelings towards you either way. Sometimes when we have the Moon card can represent a deep amount of passion and a deep amount of feeling like you're drawn to something, feeling like you are enticed or allured by something. So she may find something about you to just be very appealing, and something about you very mysterious. So she's like drawn to that. You know how people are drawn to like mysterious people. That's why we have that saying, tall, dark, and handsome, or something like that. Or is tall, dark, and handsome referring to skin tone? Whatever. It could be general personality too. I've always interpreted both ways, where the darkness refers to like the hidden side of the moon, you know what I mean, where it's just like there's this element of somebody's personality you just don't know about, and so it just makes you so curious, and you come up with all these fantasies and reasons and how they live their life and etc. And just literally the fantasy and the thought alone becomes so appealing that you end up like projecting your own sort of fantasy and desires maybe onto that person. I'm not saying that that's happening here, but it can be just like there's an element of mystery to your character because you are like this hermit sort of person, and you keep to yourself, and you're not really trying to make waves and, you know, cause trouble and be like the talk of the town or whatever. That she finds that very appealing, and she wants to get to know you more, but she kind of she never feels like she knows enough, which can also be an element, you know, where someone says someone's like mysterious and they just kind of feel like they just don't know anything. Like the more time they spend around them, the less they feel like they know about them or something like that. I think that's the feeling I'm getting with your mother-in-law. But overall, it's a very interesting dynamic that you have between you and your mother-in-law. I wouldn't be too worried about it. It doesn't look like she's the type to really treat you bad in any sort of way. I mean, these cards don't suggest that. We can pull one more just to clarify, but I really don't think she's going to treat you bad. We have the 8 of Wands. So no, she's not treating you bad at all, but the communications will be kind of like really short, which is like, makes sense why you guys she won't know you that well. But the conversations between you will be very short and quick. She also will be very communicative, and she'll be the one mainly sort of reaching out towards you. But for the most part, she's just very like friendly towards you, you know. All right. So that is all I have for you. Pile number 5. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. And thank you guys for subscribing to my channel, astronauts. And if you're not subscribed, come on and subscribe. And you'll be welcome to the astronaut fam. And I will love you for it. So thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Hey, pile number 6. Let's get started on your reading and see what this relationship with your mother-in-law is going to be all about here. So this card represents your mother-in-law. We have the Ace of Wands. Oh my goodness. You have someone who is just so upbeat, so positive, so enthusiastic, so much an individual. When we have that Ace of Wands card, it just reminds me of the spirit of Aries. And you know how Aries are so like bullheaded, and bullheaded, no pun intended, it's supposed to be, that's Taurus, but ram-headed, I'll say. You know, they're so ram-headed, and they just want to dive in and go forward and not be stopped, okay? They just want to go, all right? And they don't mind a challenge. That's one thing about those fire energies. They always like to have a spark of ideas and want to do something and move on to the next thing, and they feel like enough is never enough. There's a whole big wide world out there for them to explore, and they want to see it all, okay? So you have a very much upbeat, positive, but at the same time, you know how fire signs can be. Fire signs can be so direct and so blunt, and and just be like, hey, do you want to go do this? Yes or no? Like there's a lack of complexity when it comes to the Ace of Wands. Like, I don't know how else to explain a fire sign. Fire signs are probably, especially the sign of Aries, one of the most simplistic nature signs, where I want to do something, this makes me happy, this is fun, this is exciting, let's do it again, let's do it again. Actually, I'm bored of this, let's do something else, let's do something else. What is this over here? What's that? Like, it's just like a go energy. Like Aries always wants to see something new, always wants to tackle a new idea. And the thing about that sort of energy is they find it hard to complete and focus and stick to something. They're not ones to plan too. They have to just keep going and going and going and going. Like they like to plan while in motion, okay? It's like saying, let's go on a camping trip. Maybe they'll grab a few camping gears and stuff, you know. Aries is not, they're not complete idiots. But then they get to the camping grounds and they realize they're missing a few things. And like, well, let's just go ahead and get that. Instead of being like more of a Taurus energy would be like to plan and figure out everything they need beforehand. Aries is just like very spontaneous. That's the word I've been searching for the past 50 million minutes, God. They're very spontaneous. So you have a very spontaneous mother-in-law who always wants to go on adventures, always wants to try something new, may not finish everything that she does, but she is willing to try new things. So you know that's happening. Let's see what she thinks of your personality. We have the 5 of Pentacles and we have the Magician. Interesting. 5 of Pentacles as a personality, I would say, is somebody is very insecure. So, but then we have the Magician next to it. So maybe she thinks that you're very insecure about your talents. She sees you as someone who's a very talented, intelligent individual, but she kind of feels like you don't see yourself in the same light. Like you don't see the beauty of everything that you are capable of. And she thinks that you're someone who who will stick through the hard times, who can tough things out, but you just need to value yourself more and understand how wonderful and amazing and talented and intelligent and, you know, charming you are. She just thinks that you don't see your own value and beauty, and that you are devaluing yourself, okay? In a sense, she just thinks that you're so talented. Like, she's gonna really like admire that you're very, very talented and amazing and like the most brilliant communicator, and she doesn't think you're so funny. She doesn't really think that you're sarcastic, okay? I don't know why I getting that, but I just think that she's gonna think that you're sarcastic, or she's gonna think you have a very dry sense of humor, okay? Or like a very like dark sense of humor. Like it's a little bit offbeat, okay? It's not quite like The Office or something like that. It's like very dark, dry, sarcastic. More like a British sense of humor, something like that. But with this here, she thinks that you're someone who knows how to fix a lot of things, has a whirlwind of knowledge, someone who can have a conversation about anything and anyone, someone who is not afraid to learn, and you have this sense of curiosity about you, okay? So this is how she'll treat you. We have the 5 of Cups. We're going to clarify that, okay, with Justice. Interesting. Okay, so with the 5 of Cups energy, she's going to treat you like she misses you a lot. Like you are always gone. It's weird that we have 2 5s here, so it makes me wonder if there's going to be some conflicts going on. I don't know if you guys would outright fight with each other, more so feel like there's some sort of misunderstandings between you two. It's interesting. Hold on, I have to pull one card because I need to get her feelings towards you before I dive into interpreting this. Interpreting. There we go. 6 of Swords as feelings towards you. Another card about like moving on and like needing to go somewhere else and feeling like someone's away. Okay. So she's gonna treat you fairly, honestly. But I don't know, maybe you guys won't spend a lot of time together. Like, I know another pile was like that, where they just didn't spend a lot of time with their mother-in-law. And she's gonna treat you with respect, and it's gonna be like you get what you give, okay? So if you're someone who's very distant with her, then she's going to be very distant with you. If you're someone who's very social with her, she's gonna be very social with you. You know what I mean? She's very much like a mirror in that way. She's gonna mirror your actions towards her and reflect it back. And from this, it looks like you won't spend a lot of time with her. So she's gonna kind of feel like, okay, well then, I guess I won't reach out, and I guess I won't spend a lot of time with this person. But their feelings towards you, or they feel like there's maybe some rockiness in this relationship, where like things could be better if you guys both took the time and energy to focus on that and make the relationship better. But from her perspective, it feels like it's not worth the fight or the battle. You know what I mean? Like the 6 of Wands and the 6 of Swords energy is about moving on and experiencing more, and, you know, getting away from things that, you know, don't upset you, or you feel like there's a toxic environment and chaotic and, you know, just hurtful. So she feels like if you guys were to work on it, it would just be very hurtful and strenuous, and it would cause a lot of effort. So she kind of feels like maybe it's best to be like 2 ships in a night. There we go. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's the metaphor I get from this. Like, you guys are just kind of like passing by each other. So it's a bit unusual, but maybe you guys just won't have a lot in common. But overall, it's weird because she thinks that you're pretty amazing. But like I said, maybe your feelings aren't reciprocated, okay? So this is all about your mother-in-law, so I'm gonna pull to see how you feel towards her. From your perspective, though, it's weird because you feel like you're giving enough with the Knight of Cups. You're like, maybe I could give a little bit more, but you're very friendly with her. You keep the chat kind of light. You probably give her a lot of compliments. You know, you tell her cooking's great. Like, you're just like, from your perspective, things are really cool and everything. But I think from her, she feels like she needs more, okay? Because when we have the 5 of Cups, they're crying over like spilt milk. And the only reason they're crying over spilt milk because, you know, well, they can get more, honestly, but they feel like they had this and now they lost it. So then maybe it feels like there's been part of your relationship where when you first met, there was so much potential and happiness and you guys really connected, but maybe as like the marriage goes on, you guys lose that closeness or something like that, or maybe things didn't go as according to plan. Maybe she really wanted a really close relationship, but you guys are just ended up being not bad, like you're not on bad terms with each other, but not as close as she would like you guys to be. And as I was saying with the 5 of Cups, she kind of feels like she just like lost something, or she can't get something, and it's just not enough. Like, she feels like the 2 cups are not enough. So she feels like this Knight of Cups energy, this energy of you kind of being very sweet towards her, very kind and very generous and like very open. She feels like it's not enough. Like there's more to be had, okay? She's like, I want a close relationship with my son, daughter-in-law, okay? I want to be very connected. I want us to spend time. I want us to talk. I want us to be in each other's company. I want us to really connect emotionally. And it feels like that's what it is. It's a lack of emotional connection that she's missing. So I think that's like this conflict here for her. But overall, I don't see the relationship being horrible or anything. It's just like she just feels like, all right, well, I don't think I'm going to get what I want out of this relationship, so I'm not going to put too much effort into it. All right? So I hope that didn't sound bad or anything. Like, I just want to read the cards honestly, and sometimes people get really offended with truth and honesty, but with the Libra card here with Justice, it's kind of saying that you guys will have a moment where you guys have that sit down and talk, because Libra is about like 2 sort of sides coming together, 2 sort of things, entities making their way, all right? And figuring things out. So there's going to be a moment in that relationship where you guys really sit down and talk about things. That's all I got to give for now. But thank you guys for watching, and I would like to wish you guys all the best and happy holidays if I don't post another reading next week. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. And I love you, my astronauts. You guys are the best. And if you're not an astronaut, then join the fam and subscribe. And that is all I have for you. Thank you for watching. Bye. Or I should say au revoir.